You're watching News Central now on News Central Television with me, Blessings Mosugu. The top stories at this hour. Nigeria and South Africa hold bilateral relations meeting in Cape Town. Port Harcourt Refinery resumes full operations after brief upgrades. Kidnapped Tanzania's opposition party youth leader Abdul Nondo found alive. We've got the details in a moment. News Central now at this hour begins in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, where a fire broke out early on Monday morning at Trademore Estate Market in Abuja, located off Umar Musa Yaradua Airport Road. The blaze, which started around 4 a.m. local time, caused panic among residents. Now, while the exact cause remains unclear, a resident suggested it might be electrical. Firefighters from the Dunamis Church fire rescue teams responded promptly, arriving around 5 a.m. to contain the flames. According to eyewitnesses, a combined effort from EFCC and Salka fire stations extinguished the fire by 6 a.m. local time. The full extent of the damage is still being assessed.
The two shop market has been completely razed off by fire. And based on what we could see here, the market has been totally consumed by the fire. And as you can see some firefighters still actively engaging the fire, trying to douse the fire. But unfortunately, what we see here is a completely razed down shop. It only points to one direction. Before the firemen could get here, the fire has taken a toll on the market and has destroyed some goods, properties, and wares. This market is actually a food market, and as you can see debris of some of the food that were tried to salvage from the fire. But unfortunately, the fire has had its toll on our market house here and people who sell these wares. And as you can see, this is a point of sales for charcoal, which seemingly ignited most of the fire. We've been hearing rumors that the fire actually started from a light bulb at the first shop that actually spread out to the entire complex, and the fire consumed everything inside. Unfortunately, the firemen could not get here in time as a result of when the fire actually started. That started around 3 a.m. in the morning, and it has actively erased properties worth millions of naira here. No life was lost, but the effect on the market here is quite devastating, as millions of naira were lost in the process.
And that was News Central's correspondent from the FCC, Joshua Marai, giving us an update on the fire earlier. Now, to the oil sector, the Port Harcourt Refinery is now operating at full capacity following a brief scaling down for technical upgrades. Managing Director Ibrahim Onoja confirmed the facility has resumed distributing premium motor spirit, kerosene and diesel. Onoja highlighted extensive equipment upgrades, including new pumps and cables, enhancing efficiency and reliability. The plant is running and we're trucking out products, according to him. Director of Operations Moyi Maidunama explained that production was temporarily reduced to address technical issues. Terminal Manager Warlu Joel praised the refinery's efficiency, stating it can load 3 trucks every 15 minutes. He, however, noted low turnout of tanker drivers. The Port Harcourt Refinery, with a capacity of 210,000 barrels per day, recently resumed operations after major rehabilitation. But still staying on the oil sector for a bit, the Nigerian Army's 6th Division has reported major success in its fight against illegal oil bunkering in the Niger Delta. Now, between November 25 and December 1st, 2024, it said that troops recovered 1.2 million litres of stolen crude, destroyed 56 illegal refineries, and arrested 17 suspects. The operation covered Rivers, Bayelsa, Delta, and Akwa Ibom states, targeting illegal refining sites, cooking drums, and boats used for bunkering. In Bayelsa, over 755,000 litres of stolen crude were recovered, and in Delta, troops discovered 40,000 litres of stolen product. Additionally, several vehicles and boats were said to have been seized, and illegal connections to government pipelines were dismantled. Now, the Army says it is continuing its crackdown on economic sabotage in the region. Away from that now, let's stay with developments on President Bola Tinubu's controversial tax reform bill. Nigeria's former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has called for transparency, fairness, and inclusivity in the legislative process towards the ongoing tax reform bills. In a statement on Sunday, Atiku urged lawmakers to ensure the reforms promote balanced development across all states, warning against policies that could worsen regional inequalities. He emphasized the need for a fiscal system rooted in justice and equity. Now, Atiku called for open public hearings involving key stakeholders like civil society organizations, traditional institutions, and economic experts to shape the debate. He also urged the National Assembly to consult the National Economic Council for guidance and economic policy. Still on tax reform bill, Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has explained why northern governors are urging President Bola Tinubu to reconsider the controversial tax reform bills. Zulum said the bills face strong opposition, especially from northern elites, as they do not align with regions' interests. He emphasized that the governors are not against the administration, but seek more time for consultation. Now, Zulum warned that if passed, the bills will disadvantage most states, with Lagos benefiting the most. He reiterated that the North, Southeast, South-South, and Southwest would be shortchanged, urging President Tinubu to reconsider the proposals. Despite the opposition, the bills passed a second reading in the Senate last week. Now, let's stay with the Borno State Governor, Babagana Zulum, as we understand that he has revealed that some individuals are benefiting from the ongoing insurgency in the state. Speaking to the media, Zulum explained that the sponsors of the insurgency have no interest in ending the crisis. He noted that these beneficiaries span across all sectors, including civilians and military personnel. The governor also highlighted arrests of informants and military personnel involved in aiding insurgents. Now, Zulum added that foreign intrusion and the porous borders, particularly around Lake Chad and Sambisa Forest, are enabling terrorist activities in that region. Earlier on, a security expert, Inko Taria Ikpalibo, spoke to us on the development.
The late General Sani Abacha said several years ago, before he died, that any insurgency that exceeds 24 hours implies a government involvement. So it's clear there are people benefiting from the unfortunate situation, and they position themselves in such a way that as long as the insurgency continues, they will continue to benefit. So in order to sustain their funding or their benefit, they create crisis, they fuel crisis, they come up with strategies that will always resurrect insurgency. No matter how it is being fought, they would always come up with ways to resurrect it again. Because that is the only time the government will take security serious and fund security.
Now, South Africa and Nigerian ministers are in a closed meeting as they prepared for the 11th Binational Commission meeting to be held on Tuesday. All eyes will be on South Africa President Cyril Ramaphosa and his counterpart, President Tinubu. The two countries share a historical relationship, and their partnership continues to evolve even in dynamic landscape. The meeting is an opportunity to address pressing issues, unlock new avenues for trade, and explore joint initiatives that benefit the citizens of both countries. Still live with us on the news, we'll go on a short break. There will be more stories on security and many more much later in the course of the bulletin. Stay with us. Thank you for staying tuned. Now, the Cross River State government has reached an agreement with organized labor to implement the 70,000 naira national minimum wage, along with consequential adjustments effective December 1st, 2024, which is today. Negotiations continue late into Sunday night, and while full details are yet to be released, the Chief Press Secretary, Gil Nsa, confirmed the resolution. Clark Sinotu, the special advisor to the governor on labor, expressed confidence that the planned national strike would not affect Cross Rivers. He confirmed that an MOU would be signed shortly, after which labor leaders would provide an official statement. And now the Lagos State government has announced a traffic diversion on the Marine Bridge starting on Wednesday, the 4th of December 2024, to enable emergency repairs by the Federal Ministry of Works. The maintenance will start until February 25, 2025. The Commissioner for Transportation, Oluwaseun Osiyemi, says the repair will focus on sections of the bridge's asphalt pavement. Motorists traveling from Apapa to Lagos Island are advised to use alternative routes via Costain Roundabout and Eco Bridge, or Ijora 7-Up and Ijora Oluye. Now, traffic heading into Apapa from Costain will remain unaffected. Osiyemi urged patience, stating the diversion is part of a traffic management strategy to minimize disruptions during the rehabilitation. Regular updates will be provided throughout the maintenance period. Now to security matters, the Niger police have confirmed the attack that happened at the Facility Jakana Divisional Police Headquarters, which took place on November 28 in the wee hours of the day. In a statement released on Sunday by force spokesperson Muyiwa Adejobi, acknowledged the attack and stated that police officers from the Borno State Command repelled the attack. According to the statement, the group of unknown armed individuals attacked the Jakana Divisional Police Headquarters, Borno State, at about 1 a.m. Meanwhile, on November 25, police officers and agents from other sister security organizations raided a number of black spots and bandit camps located throughout the state of Sokoto. During the process, security operatives cleared the camps and recovered some AK-47 rifles and several magazines, each loaded with 30 rounds of live ammunition. South Africa and Nigeria ministers are in a closed-door meeting as they prepare for 11th Binational Commission meeting to be held on Tuesday. Now, all eyes will be on South Africa President Cyril Ramaphosa and his counterpart, President Tinubu. Both countries share a historical relationship, and their partnership continues to evolve even in dynamic landscape. The meeting is an opportunity to address pressing issues, unlock new avenues for trade, and explore joint initiatives that benefit the citizens of both countries. Now, with Nigeria being South Africa's largest trading partner in Africa, strengthening these ties is imperative for the economic growth of both nations. Right now, our correspondent, Bongani Siziba, is in Cape Town, and we'll be crossing over to her for more on this closed-door meeting. Hello, Bongani, can you hear me? Bongani, if you can hear me, what is the meeting about? We hear that this is a closed-door meeting regarding the binational agreement or relationship. What is the meeting about, and what progress has been made so far?
Yes, the meeting is about to enhance the economic ties between the two countries. We know that Nigeria and South Africa are the biggest trade partners in Africa. So this meeting is about also to boost that. We have delegates. If I can ask my camera person just to pan and show you delegates that are here. We know that both countries are major powerhouses on the continent, and they share the richest tapestry in connections through trade, culture, and mutual interest. This meeting is also serves as a platform for both nations to discuss strategic issues that enhance economic issues. But with me is the ambassador of South Africa to Nigeria, just to speak to us about some of the issues that was discussed in that meeting. Good afternoon, sir, and thank you for joining us. What are some of the key discussions that were in the meeting?
Well, first of all, at a political level, the meeting was emphasizing the importance of the political consultations between the two nations to ensure that they actually join in the leadership of uplifting Africa and dealing with some of the challenges that the African continent is having. So, for example, the meeting was actually emphasizing the need for the ministers of foreign affairs to actually meet regularly to consult on these matters. But then the issues of trade, industry, and investment were also next. And in that area, for example, the Nigerian delegation was actually emphasizing the priorities that have come from the Nigerian, I think, 5-year plan, MTF, and therefore saying, for example, agriculture and digital economy should be introduced in the discussions, because in the past they have not actually taken any prominence, and therefore the decision was to actually highlight, uplift those issues and get the parties to start engaging, because these are new areas of concern, particularly from the Nigerian side. But other than that, the normal issues that have been under discussion for some time, market access issues, how we ensure that Nigerian business can find it easy to come and do business in South Africa and invest in South Africa, and similarly, how South African businesses can continue to be able to stay in Nigeria, and not the trend that we are seeing that some of them are actually moving out. So that particular discussion meant that we need to actually ensure that the committee that was established before of businesses from South Africa and businesses, representatives from Nigeria, it's called the JMICT, the Joint Ministerial Advisory Committee on Industry, Trade, and Investment. It's supposed to meet. It hasn't been meeting. So the meeting is directing that by March, this meeting should have happened, because it must deal with the issues of market access. So apart from that, then there's also the security issues, criminal issues, security, cooperation in dealing with illicit drug trafficking, drug trafficking, human trafficking, smuggling of children, and all those issues that relate to crime. They're also a matter of focus. On the other hand, security. Exchange in skills, technology in the security and defense area. Those are some of the key elements of discussion in this meeting.
And how can both countries attract investment?
Well, in terms of investment, first of all, if we can deal with the obstacles to investment in our own two countries by each other, then we'll be able to actually be dealing for others the same kind of problem. So we will attract investment because we have dealt with the obstacles that we ourselves have identified among ourselves, about ourselves. So that is the priority first. And then, of course, jointly, if we have joint projects, we can get other partners that are able to then invest in those projects if we are actually working together. So basically, let's deal with our own market access issues, and then let's work together in projects to attract investment into our countries.
Thank you so much, Sir. That was the South African ambassador to Nigeria speaking to us about the key discussions that were in that closed meeting, speaking of security, trade, and also a cultural exchange between these two countries. We continue to monitor these discussions here, and tomorrow we are waiting for the big one, President Ramaphosa and also the President of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, who will be also in those discussions. We like to hear what they will be talking about, but we continue to monitor that for our viewers. It's back to you in the studio now.
All right, thank you so much, Bongani Siziba, for that update. And definitely, like you said, we'll be monitoring the development. And of course, you will be available on ground to give us more updates. Now, away from the security matters, the chairman of Nigeria's Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission has lauded the partnership between the commission and the Nigerian Army. The chairman, while expressing gratitude for the military support in the training of the commission's armed personnel, says that this has been crucial in the war against graft and has contributed immensely to building a secure and corruption-free society. He made this known during a performance evaluation of the commission's tactical squad at the 177 Battalion Guard Brigade of the Nigerian Army base in Kefi, Nasarawa State, on several key skills, including shooting, marksmanship, tactical drills, and a stripping demonstration. Now, the Katsina state government has signed a memorandum of understanding with energy giant Ocean Solutions Energy to expand access to sustainable and renewable electricity for local communities across the state. The state governor, Diko Rada, signed the MOU at the sidelines of President Bola Tinubu's engagement with development partners and industry experts in Paris, France, saying the agreement will serve as a model for future hydroelectric development across the state's 43 dams. Now, Rada says that the MOU is in line with objectives of the state to establish a mini hydroelectric power station as part of the agreement's pilot project. To health matters now, Nigeria has launched a major health initiative with the rollout of the malaria vaccine in Bayelsa and Kebbi State, aiming to reduce the high malaria prevalence. The country also reaffirmed its commitment to combat antimicrobial resistance, AMR, an emerging global health threat. Nigeria will host the 5th Global Ministerial Meeting on AMR in 2026. Professor Ali Pate, Coordinating Minister of Health, emphasized the importance of this vaccine, noting that Nigeria accounts for 27% of global malaria cases. He also outlined efforts to improve malaria case management, strengthen the health workforce, and tackle AMR through national action plans and genomic surveillance. These initiatives aim to enhance health security for Nigerians and contribute to global health efforts. And now to some of our special reports. Some residents of the Ilaje local government area of Ondo State have raised an alarm over the ocean surge, which has become a threat to their communities. And while they say they are in dire need of government presence, some of them spoke to News Central Television saying that they are in need of basic infrastructural necessities to make life easier for their communities. Amadine Oyi reports.
The Ilajes are a distinct migratory group, forming part of the Yoruba ethnic group. The Ilajes are spread along the states of Ondo, Ogun, Lagos, and Delta, residing mainly along the coastal belts, beaches, and swampy terrains of the Atlantic. While their exact number is still not known, the Ilaje local government area of Ondo State is, however, the largest local government area in terms of landmass.
Ilaje has been here since AD session. I can't really picture the year because my great-great-grandfather has been existing and I don't know their age. So that means if I'm to say they have been existing more than 200 years.
A visit to Obenla community at the Ilaje local government area reveals a people in need of government presence. With their entire communities now fully on water, one resident says that their way of life has gradually been altered following two notable events: the discovery of oil and the gradual sea incursion into their communities.
Before the event of oil derivation and the sea incursion, Ilaje is a very boom. We don't depend on government money. We spend on daily money. We go to sea, we catch fish, we spend as a large person.
For the Ilajes, it's water, water, water. Their houses are built on water. Their communities exist on water. But don't be deceived. Despite water being in abundance, they say they don't have water to drink. They say while water is a blessing to many communities, it's the root of their problems.
A walk around their communities revealed a people trying to survive. Some residents reel out a list of their necessities to government.
We people that live in here, we are suffering. So we need a network. Network, they suffer us well. Sometimes a week or a month, we no see network for here.
We need plenty things for this community. We need bridge. We need so many houses. So this ourselves, we don't get house. Some people want to leave this community now. There is no house. So we need new house and new bridge. that is coming from there.
The Ilagers say these needs, when provided, will help them integrate properly into the society. In Obenla, Ondo State, for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
Now, after years of fear and insurgent activity that once made the capital city a place of constant tension, Maiduguri is witnessing a resurgence in its social life, particularly in the night hours. With the security situation improving steadily in Borno State, residents are revitalizing the city's nightlife as social gatherings, businesses, and cultural activities are becoming part of daily life again, with hangouts in greater numbers than ever before. News Central's Umoru Kirawa, who crisscrossed Maiduguri, the capital city of Borno, now reports.
An environment usually dominated by fear and uncertainty, but now residents are taking the opportunity to reclaim the vibrant social life that was once lost. One of the bustling roasted fish spots at Circular Road axis in Maiduguri has now become a hotspot for those seeking a lively atmosphere and a variety of edibles.
We give the Almighty God thanks for the security in Borno State. As you can see, in the night, we do sell much. It's our busy hours. We give God the glory. Peace is coming back to Borno. In the daytime now, normally we can sell like 10, while in the evening we can even sell up to 50 pieces.
Local security forces and the popular civilian JTF and other vigilante groups working together with the Nigerian military and police have helped stabilize the region, allowing the city's social activities to flourish once more.
Alhamdulillah, naptengelewa yapondena bororo umia adegi. Amma andero loktu dia sa sarana mandigi kama kilewa seleda 24 hours solena mandigi kaso dia kalkalo bulandi enda.
The level of peace in Borno State, in Maiduguri particularly, is splendid, is very lovely. Initially, you know the movement in this state, when you're walking, your shadow is a suspect. Your shadow is a suspect. But now, with the level of the effort of the state government, the movement in Maiduguri, when you are moving, even though your shadow is still following you, you are comfortable. You understand? Except if you engage yourself in unwanted activities.
Baranzalan, Putin Lewa Tunda, Chaburon and Lewapa. Sarah Compatroga and Aquala and Rimlewati at Tarsam, you maintain Kalale to Senior Fatrogan. Tinda Nileva for General Governor Askan de Plena, and they look to Sarah, a welcome by Kalai Balan.
It is that time of the year that the Igbos and other ethnic groups in Maiduguri also wine and dine to their fullest.
Unlike how it was before during the Boko Haram insurgency and the whole crisis, like Maiduguri has been a very peaceful place. You won't even believe that, like we barely have some issues because of how peaceful it is.
We are enjoying the state more than ever before. Maiduguri, in fact, Maiduguri, I don't think there is any place like Maiduguri. Maiduguri, we are doing our business never before. We are enjoying the state, honestly. Maiduguri is, there is a lot of money in Maiduguri, and Maiduguri people, they accommodate many of us here.
Because some of the local government are still affected, but there has been a tremendous success in the fight against insurgency, and we must say that the government, they are working.
Gas meat and more suya and banana juice spots have reopened to cater to the growing demand for nightlife entertainment.
I'm from Enugu State, Nigeria, in Suka precisely. When I was coming here, even my mother did not even allow me to come here because he said I would die, they will kill me. But I said, Mama, anywhere you are, if death come, you will go die, it's a must. So I took the courage, I came to Maiduguri, see me here today, nothing happened to me. And I bet that nothing happened to me up till I finished my school.
The peaceful environment has made things so very unique in terms of restoration of peace. And we thank God, honestly, with the way things are going, we strongly believe that normalcy have returned.
Gaskiya yanzu alhamdulillah kasuwa tana tafiya daidai yadda ake so. Mun gode wa Allah. Gaskiya idan da so samu ne gwamnati da Allah ta dan duba mu, ta dan kara mana lokaci akan wannan abun. Shine iya rokan da zamu yi a gure shi.
For so long, residents could not even think of going out at night because of the risks. But now they feel safe again giving a sense of normalcy. In Maiduguri for News Central, Umar Kirawa.
And now coming up on the news, kidnapped Tanzania's opposition party youth leader, Abdul Nondo, found alive. The details after the break. Join us again. Now, the news continues in West Africa, where Senegal on Sunday marked 80 years since the Thiaroye massacre, where dozens of African troops were killed by French forces, a tragedy France has now officially acknowledged as a massacre. President Bassirou Diomaye Faye hosted a ceremony at the former Thiaroye military camp near Dakar, joined by leaders from Mauritania, Gabon, and other nations, along with France's Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot. The 1944 killings occurred after the African soldiers returning from World War II protested unpaid wages and unequal treatment. French troops opened fire, with the death toll officially reported as 35, but believed to be by historians to be as high as 400. Now, Faye called for a redefined relationship with France, praising President Macron for acknowledging the atrocity and pledging to memorialize the victims in Senegal's history.
France vient également de franchir un pas important dans la restauration de la vérité, grâce au président Emmanuel Macron, qui m'a adressé une lettre il y a 3 jours pour assumer que les événements de Thiaroye en 1944 ont abouti à un massacre. Je salue son courage moral. Où des héros africains sans défense, armés de courage, de dignité et de fraternité africaine, ont été froidement abattus. Il s'agissait là d'un massacre.
We now head to the east of the continent, where Abdul Nondo, the head of opposition party ACT Wazalendo Youth Wing, who was kidnapped on Sunday by individuals his party members believed were state security agents, has been found. According to police, the youth leader was abandoned by unknown assailants on the popular Cocoa Beach in Dar es Salaam and struggled to find his way to his party headquarters late on Sunday night. Isiaka Maginta, the ACT Wazalendo deputy chairperson, said that Nondo's initial appearance suggested that he had been tied up and bitten up, as he has sustained injuries to his legs, his chest, back and arms, and was barely able to talk. Abdul Nondo's abduction came days after the governing Chama cha Mapinduzi, the CCM party, won local elections that some opposition groups said were rigged. And still to come, landmark ICJ hearings on how countries should protect the planet from climate change opens in The Hague. We'll get the details after the break. Now to World Wrap, the United Nations highest court has begun unprecedented hearings to establish legal guidelines on how countries should protect the planet from climate change and assist vulnerable nations in addressing its devastating effects. Judge Nawaf Salam, who presided over the hearings, opened the sessions. The sessions will feature presentations from over 100 countries and organizations before the International Court of Justice in The Hague, marking the largest such gathering in the court's history. Now, pro-Turkey fighters have seized a strategic northern town from Kurdish forces, carrying parallel to a major rebel offensive in the Aleppo province. This is according to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. According to the Monitor, the fighters took control of Tal Rifat and several other nearby villages, adding that about 200,000 Syrian Kurds in North Aleppo province have been besieged by pro-Turkey factions. Communications in Kurdish majority areas have been cut off, triggering concerns of possible massacres of Kurds. On Sunday, the observatory reported that pro-Turkey factions had killed government forces and attacked Kurdish fighters in Aleppo province in an offensive that began the previous day. The operation aimed to sever Kurdish supply lines. Tal Rifat, located about 20 kilometers south of Turkey's border, has been a frequent flashpoint for clashes between Turkish-backed forces and Kurdish fighters, whom Turkey regards as terrorists.
والله كانت منغصة علينا الرفعة، تحرير سوريا كلها كانت منغصة علينا الرفعة. الحمد لله الحمد لله رجعت الرفعة لأهلها لزوارها للأبطال الأحرار.
And our protests in Georgia following rejected election results have turned ugly as it reached the fourth day. Tens of thousands of demonstrators put up barricades, while some threw stones and fireworks at the police. The country has been engulfed in unrest since the ruling Georgian Dream Party declared victory in the October 26 parliamentary elections, which the pro-European opposition accused of being fraudulent. The crisis intensified after Prime Minister Irakli Kobakize announced that Georgia would postpone its EU accession talks until 2028, triggering widespread protests in the capital and other cities. The police fired tear gas and water cannon in a bid to control the crisis. Straight to business, Nigeria and France have signed a landmark agreement to revive over 2,000 abandoned mining pits in Nigeria. The Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, was finalized during President Bola Tinubu's recent visit to France, signaling a new phase of cooperation in environmental rehabilitation and sustainable mining. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dili Alake, announced the agreement, highlighting plans to address the environmental impact of mining, promote clean energy technologies, and establish joint projects for critical minerals like copper, lithium, and cobalt. The deal also includes co-financing extraction and processing projects, knowledge transfer through student exchanges, and enhanced sector management training. Alake described the partnership as a significant step in positioning Nigeria's mining sector for global competitiveness. Now, African nations are facing a 500% surge in debt servicing costs when borrowing from global markets, according to the African Development Bank's Vice President and Chief Economist, Professor Kevin Urama. He cited this during the 5th African Union Extraordinary Session in Abuja, Nigeria. The shift towards private creditors has worsened the debt situation, with nearly 49% of Africa's debt held by private entities by the end of 2023, projected to increase to 54% by 2024. Now, this change means countries now pay 5 times more in interest compared to borrowing from multilateral institutions like the AFDB. Urama emphasized the urgency for an African financial stability mechanism to offer better refinancing options and called for reforms in the global financial system to enhance Africa's economic resilience. And to sports now, the final phase of the 2024 Comptroller General of Customs CJC Volleyball Premier League will take place at the Moshood Abiola Stadium, Abuja, from the 2nd to 15th of December. Featuring top men's and women's teams across Nigeria, the competition promises thrilling matches. Defending men's champions Offa VC will face Kano Pillars, while the Nigeria Customs Service takes on Nigeria Police Force. In the women's category, defending champion CNS Spikers will play Kwara United VC, with Nigeria's Customs Service battling Life Camp VC. According to Martin Malendi, the technical director of the Nigeria Volleyball Federation, matches will commence immediately after the technical meeting at 8 a.m. The 2024 CGC Volleyball Premier League's final phase promises to be one of the most exciting yet, with teams leaving no stone unturned in their quest for victory. Now, the Nigeria Fencing Federation, NFF, has signed a 4-year partnership with the Italian Fencing Federation, FIS, to advance fencing in Nigeria through knowledge transfer and technical support. Formalized at the International Fencing Federation Congress in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, the agreement will see Italian coaches, referees, and specialists training Nigerian officials. NFF President Adeyinka Samuel called it a major milestone for Nigerian fencing, while FIS President Paulo Aziz expressed confidence in Nigeria's potential for growth. The deal also includes promoting exchanges between Italian and Nigerian fencers. Samuel highlighted the Men's Junior EP Fencing World Cup set for December 14 to 15 in Lagos as a landmark event and urged public and private sector support to strengthen fencing's development in Nigeria. We're still talking sports. Approximately 50 football fans, including children, were killed in a stampede during a match at a crowded stadium in southern Guinea's largest city of Nzerikore on Sunday, as security forces tried to quell clashes. The stampede broke out on Sunday afternoon during the final of a local tournament between the Labe and Nzerikore teams being played in honor of Guinea's military leader, Mamadi Doumbouya. A coalition of political parties known as the National Alliance for Alternation and Democracy said in a statement that the stampede resulted in dozens of deaths and injuries. According to reports, security forces tried to use tear gas to restore calm after the chaos that followed a disputed penalty. Guinea has been led by the military since soldiers ousted President Alpha Conde in 2021. Now, Fiorentina midfielder Eduardo Bove, who's 22, is in intensive care after collapsing during a Serie A match against Inter Milan on Sunday. The game, halted in the 16th minute, was eventually abandoned. Fiorentina confirmed Bove is under pharmacological sedation and will be reevaluated within 24 hours. Initial tests ruled out acute neurological or cardiorespiratory damage. Medical staff attended to Bove on a pitch as players formed a protective ring. He was stretched off and taken to a hospital in stable condition. Fiorentina President Rocco Commisso and Inter President Giuseppe Marotta expressed solidarity, while Roma, Bove's parent club, and Serie A offered support on social media. Bove, on loan from Roma, scored his first Fiorentina goal in October. Still in sports, Dutch marathon runner Sifan Hassan and Botswanan sprinter Basile Tebogo were crowned Athletes of the Year at the World Athletics Awards in Monaco on Sunday, following their gold medal triumphs at the Paris Olympics. Hassan's extraordinary achievements included marathon gold and 2 bronze medals in the 5,000 meter and 10,000 meter. She also won the Out-of-Stadium Award. This year was crazy, according to her. Tebogo, the first African Olympic champion in the 200-meter, clocked 19.46 seconds to beat American rivals Kenny Bednarek and Noah Lyles. This means a lot, she said. Now, other winners included Armand Duplantis, Yaroslava Muchik, Sydney McLaughlin Levron, and rising stars Sembo Almayu and Mattia Fulani. The event also honored late marathoner Kevin Kiptum. Well, that's all on the news at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of our major stories. Now, we detail the Nigeria and South Africa hold bilateral relations meeting in Cape Town. We also mentioned that Port Harcourt Refinery resumes full operations after brief upgrades. And finally, we mentioned that kidnapped Tanzania's opposition party youth leader Abdul Nondo found alive. You can watch News Central live on DSTV, channel 422, Star Times, channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Blessings Wasugu.